perm. It's perm. It's perm. Anyways, B'ezrat Hashem Chevra. I hope everyone's doing well, healthy, happy, and successful. We have 4 days until Shabbos. We're inching closer to Hanukkah, 139 days, Baruch Hashem. And I actually copied and pasted last text, and it's the same days that were yesterday, but let's subtract from one day. Baruch Hashem. So anyways, Chavra, Atfil B'Shim Kol Yisrael, let me turn on the brightness here. For Pesach Ubin Nisaf Asar Bracha Bas Yehudis Miriam Dodi Bas Chanu Chavadina Bas Bas Yashir Bas Bas Saner Ruben Ben Mani Tavin Hashem Israel. Let love and harmony ring among us constantly until we all become unified and inspire one another. Let us remind each other to turn to you sincerely. May we break all of our bad traits and desires and acquire good qualities by doing what is right in your eyes all the days of our lives. And if any Jew has a deficiency of any kind, whether through neglecting some good trait or failing to work on a bad one, let a friend point it out to him and give him encouragement so as to enable him to fix everything in his life. B'ezrat Hashem. Chaver halakha l'maisa. The entrance of a house and also of a courtyard in which an idolater also lives is exempt from the requirement of a mezuzah. And it says here in the footnote, the Shach explains that affixing a mezuzah in such a case can lead to danger for the Jewish residents or desecration of the mezuzah itself. So that's the halacha. Halacha l'maisa. Halacha l'maisa. That was going to be a big one today. It was short but long. All right, amazing. So, Chaver, before we start and enter into the sea of Ahavat Yisroel, Moshe Schiff is not on tonight, Baruch Hashem. He's doing many important things, helping Am Yisrael out. And we all know whenever he comes on, he has a dreidel in the background with the letters of the alphabet, right? Aleph, the bet, the gimel, or even if it's not on a dreidel, he just has the alphabet, right? And he always talks about the letter Aleph. Probably those weren't the letters on the dreidel. I just copped. You have the shin, we got the nun, the whole thing, the hey. But we see Aleph. I remember Aleph. But Moshe Schiff always talks about Aleph, how we're always at Aleph, how a little bit is also good. We mentioned that Torah a lot from Rabbi Nachman, but like when we say a little bit is also good, we mean a little bit is also good. Like mamash is one Aleph, just one Aleph, saying one Aleph. Just saying one thing out loud, just looking at one Aleph, by thinking about one Aleph, and one line of Torah, one passage of Torah is the biggest thing in the world.
No, it's not about quantity. I learned today like 5 minutes ago.
What?
You can learn, like people want to just learn and know all of Shas, and like in a second, Hashem could open the door and stick all the knowledge in your brain. One thing Hashem can't do in a second is your own effort into it. That only you can control that, how much effort you put in. Same thing it says like in the Rosh Hashanah, like Hashem designates amounts for everything you get. One thing he doesn't designate anything for is how much you work on yourself, how much work you do on your neshama, because that's all in your hands. It's not really about how much shots you know by heart. It's about how much time and effort you put in. And it's totally in Hashem's ballcourt to open up that door one day and let all the knowledge go into you.
You reveal the secret from Rav Aaron of Karlin. Rav Aaron of Karlin points out that Hashem is not looking at the amount of pages that we're learning; He's looking at the amount of hours that we're learning. Right, so it's a very deep concept. We could learn one word, one letter, not much for hours, and be in that letter for so long. Like Rabbeinu tells us with the Hippodah dude, if you can't even get out more than one word, just repeat that one word over and over again. And if you're doing it for days and days, Hashem's gonna open up the gates, like you're saying. He's like, okay, it's time to move on to bet. It's time to move on to bet, right? Baruch Hashem. So we really, really experienced this today. Like for real, a little bit is also good. The letter Aleph, right? We all know by the Baal Shem. Either the Baal Shem Tov forgot all of the Torah one day, and then he had to remind himself of the Torah by saying the letters of the alphabet, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daled, making it into a song with a friend of his. It was either him or a storyteller that would take all the Baal Shem Tov stories and tell over the stories. Maybe that's a different story. He forgot the stories, whatever. Kitzer, I'm in Opan. and I'm in Opan with a lot of good cover, sweet cover from all over the world. And the ages probably range from like 40 to 75. And then there's me and then another girl who's around our age, Baruch Hashem. And there's a lot of secrets there. And today during our Hafsakaf, you sprinkle in the Hebrew words, Chaim, right? I was talking to one of the cover there, and he just started opening up to me. Like it was a hafsakah, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, could go by in 2 seconds. But mamash, we used that time and the gates were open. But it was crazy. I'll tell the full story another time. But what he said was he moved to Israel in 2006. And in 2017, he woke up one morning with horrible headaches and realized that he had two tumors in his brains after going to several doctors, and they told me he had to do surgery. He went to Germany, ended up in Germany doing surgery, and towards the end of the surgery, he had a seizure, and that complicated everything, and he pretty much lost a lot of his feeling, went numb in part of his body, is legally deaf, legally blind, really just terrible, terrible, terrible things. And even after the surgery, because he can't do so much, and mind you, he was an educator at University of Penn. He actually was an educator at IDC. He was mamish beyond, and he still is beyond. And he was just telling me about like all the things that he's been struggling with recently because he like can't move so much. It's hard for him. So now he's in Opan retraining his mind. And he says in Chaver, we have to open up our hearts. It's the biggest Torah that we've ever learned in our lives. The biggest Torah. You ready? Mamish bigger than any Torah in the world. Mamish tearing then, I'm tearing now. He says that every single day, every single day, he counts the letters of the alphabet. So I'm like, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? So he says he wakes up in the morning and he goes through A. He says A. Chaim, the keeper's down. He literally says out loud to himself, he's like, hey, I woke up this morning. God woke me up. He's like, B, I'm able to breathe. C, I could use my words, use my mouth. D, goes through the whole alphabet and just is showing gratitude to Ribono Shel Olam. He's all the excuses in the world, all the problems, right? All the difficulties, all the obstacles, and he could decide to just give up. But every single day, he's starting from A, he's starting from Aleph, and he's able to return back to that point. He's able to be appreciative of what he has. I just felt like garbage. I felt like I complained over like something so stupid, Like I didn't have my morning coffee, and this Yidla, the sweetest Yidla ever, Mamish, every single day shows the utmost gratitude to the creator of the world. It's really the biggest thing in the world. And Bezrat Hashem, Chaver, one good comment to another Yid is so important. This is what we're learning here. I'm Ahavat Yisroel. So Bezrat Hashem, Lehinaheg Baderech HaEmes V'gam Lekabed Et Kulam. Right, we have to behave in the truthful path that we've been learning about for the last week or so, right? With true Ahavat Yisrael, with giving honor to the rest of the world, to showing our love, our true love, to every single Yidla, and they deserve. The calls that Amor Af Legabe Poshi Israel regarding someone who may be a traitor or some sort of person on the outside who may be doing wrong. Shekol's man sheshem Yisrael nikra alehem sarich labit alehem be'ayin tova. We all know that our name is Yisrael. We all know that we have a chelik elokam limal mamish. We all know that we're one. We all know that we're one neshama. We're all connected inside. On the outside, we may look different, but because we know that we have the same name, because we have the name of Yisrael, we have to have the good eye. We have to have the eyes of the tree of life. We have to have the eyes of the Brit Shiver. The kol shekin, im hasheni eino mitkavin la'asot ra, ela sheyesh lo derech acher ba'avodat Hashem. Right, so someone who may not intend to do bad, rather he's just on a different derech, right? Maybe on a different, if I'm understanding this correctly, it makes sense, right? There's not one path in Judaism. There's not one path in Judaism. We're all on different derechs. We're all bad derech. We're all bad derech. And we also have to respect and to love and to look with good eyes on everyone else's. Someone may be learning a different type of Torah than us. Someone may be doing a different type of chesed than us. Maybe speaking or surrounding themselves with different people. We have to look at the good in everything. Azai sarich liskor she'elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chayim v'va'arich v'kabed kol echad. We have to know that these are the words of the living God. We have to know these are the words of the Ribbon Shalom. And we have to respect and we have to appreciate every single person in the world. We have to know, right? Beneath the words, beneath the actions, right? There's something so much deeper going on. And then we have to connect to that point. Right? And even if another person, right, makes mistakes in his life, makes mistakes in his journey, we have to love him and we have to respect him. The Chalila lo libzuto. And chas v'shalom, we should degrade this person. We should count this person out. Chas v'shalom, we should say you're separate. You're different from us. You're not part of the full picture. You're not part of that one body. Right? We're all desiring to fear and to see, to fear. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's see, to fear the name of God, right? Your name. Right? And we have to know that in truth, right, our intentions are for the good. Deep down, it's all for the good. The afsha adam sarikli nag kida'at ha'amet, and even that a person needs to behave with the da'at, with the true path, like we're talking about in the Torah, in the title, right? The b'derech ha'emet, kafi shekibel me'hachachamim ha'mitim, and that we receive from the chachamim ha'mitim, right? We're reading the words of Rav Itchmar Morgenstern. I may not be translating correctly, I may not be understanding it 100% me'achuz. And we're also reading other farm on Ahavat Yisroel. We're reading the Neshama Yisrael. We're reading all these farm, the beautiful words from the Tzaddikim Amitim. But what are we doing with these words? Right, we're receiving them. We're making ourselves into a kli. But what are we doing? Rabbi Paul, Mikol Makom, Yizayer Shelo Lahafrei B'libo Miyehudi Acher. Right, and nevertheless, we should be careful not to separate our hearts from any other Jew. Our heart should be with every single Jew. Right? We spoke about the Chitzoni versus the Pnimi. Right? We shouldn't separate our hearts like Hashem is like giving us a different type of knowledge, a different type of understanding. I guess a good way to put, like, true da'at is true Ahavat Yisrael, right? And we're trying to get to that point, right? So separating our hearts from another Jew, that's just it's like telling Hashem, you gave me something else, you give me a different thing. It's like, that's not true. That's not true. True da'at from this understanding is that, like, true da'at is true love. True love. He kol Yisrael hin nefesh echad mamash v'chol cheshekam hu rak legalot et mesiut habore yisbarach. Right, and all of Israel is one nefesh, mamash, one nefesh. Right, and true da'at is understanding that we're one nefesh. And all of our desires is really just to reveal Hashem into this world. Right, is to reveal to each and every one of us in umevado. Right, that this person is not outside the Messiah of Hashem. This person is not separate. Everything's Hashem. The kol echad hu kli. Right, we're all a kli. We're all a vessel to reveal the light of Hashem. Right. I remember when Chaim spoke about the difference between Yoshua and Kalev, if I remember correctly, like the two types of roles in this world. Right, we're all different. When no, wrong. Pinchas, maybe, I don't know.
Pinchas and Bilam.
Pinchas and Bilam.
What God said and what God wants.
No. You gave a beautiful Torah on like the two types of leadership or behaviors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kalev and
Right.
Mishum Kalev.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's different ways to reveal the Hashem's glory. It's not one way. It's not one derech. Right. We're all different, but we're all the same. The galot at the or, the fi aninu. Right, according to what we answered. Now, there's just a footnote here, and I would just love to read this. It's just a couple sentences, and then we'll open it up. I'm sorry, it's been long so far. Right, and this is the emet of true love. Shesarich legalot et ha'emet ba'olam, la'asod et ha'ratzon Hashem yisbarach karoi. Right, to really do and perform and to work with the Ratzon of Hashem, right, suitably. Aval sarik sha'emet lo tavi machloket, afil believe ela rak shalom, right, in truth. And maybe this is the true da that we're talking about. Truthfully, if we're serving Hashem according to His Ratzon, there's no machloket, right? There's only peace in this world. There's only peace in this world. There's only true love in this world. So we have to attach ourselves to that. And Rav Itchmar says be'emet mitzvah zo mitzvah v'ahavta l'recha kamocha nohega b'chol hazman. We said in the introduction a long time ago, we're talking about the hafta l'recha kamocha, Rabbi Akiva, right? To love your neighbor like you love yourself, to love your friend like you love yourself, and to love yourself like you love your neighbor. It's a beautiful thing. Bezrat Hashem, Chaver, we should get to that point of the hafta l'recha kamocha. We should get to the point of understanding that there's no Messias outside of Hashem, that there's no Yidala outside of Hashem, and to attach ourselves to the Pnimi, to the Nekuda Tova, and to the one Neshama, to the one body, and Bezrat Hashem. Questions, comments, please feel free.
So spicy. Yeah, bro, it's like trying to like respond while you're still chewing on a big bite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add one more thing. Chaim, can you hear?
Yeah.
So there's a story that we went over probably like a month ago, and it happened with the Rishner, right? And like I think we spoke about, last night or 2 nights ago, that the same way we invest in ourselves, we invest all this time and effort in ourselves, we have to invest in other people. Or the same way we try loving ourselves, we have to try to love other people. Or we love ourselves, we have to love other people. So there's a story by the Rishner. A chassid once came to Rabbi Yisroel of Rishon. He's like, Rabbi, I just don't know what to do anymore. Just don't know what to do. Right? I'm sinning nonstop. I feel like it's just this constant cycle of like I'm sinning, or I feel like I'm sinning, and then I feel like I'm on top of the world, but then I sin again, and I just like this constant cycle. I can't get out of it. I've been like this for so long. What do I do? And the Rishner said, "Oh my gosh, we have to open up our hearts so deep, so deep." So deep. He says like this: the same way you're not going to stop sinning is the same way the Ribbon Shalom is not going to stop is going to stop loving you, or is going to continue to love you. The same way that you're not going to sin, that you're not going to stop sinning. I'm ruining the punchline. The same way that you're not going to stop sinning is the same way the Ribbon Shalom is not going to stop loving you.
How does that help him to stop sinning?
What?
How does that help him to stop sinning, though?
Meaning, if we feel like we're garbage cans every single time we're sinning, then how can we really like elevate?
Only if you have Rav Yair's Chiddush can you elevate.
What's Rav Yair's Chiddush?
Garbage can.
If you live in garbage, you're garbage.
No. Garbage can.
Okay. That's it.
Perfect summary. Like the reason why it's garbage. We feel like garbage from Hashem. Like the more we feel like garbage, the more, if you remember remember that Hashem loves you, and you transition from garbage cans to garbage can. It's the realest thing ever.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We need it.
I mean that's it. That's it. It's Hashem. Bezrat Hashem.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, Chavre. That was so special.
Oh,
Oh,
two garbage cans.
I don't even know what to do after that line. I don't know what to do.
It's here, bro. I was so glad to hear that live. I was literally like I don't even know. I was just like a goosh of like spaghetti noodles for 10 minutes.
But Mamish, like we have to like just that Rishner story. The garbage can is like that's it. The Rishner story, it's like we have to emulate God, right? So the same way God is not going to stop loving us, we have to get to the point where we're not going to stop loving a Jew. It's like it's Gaval, just emulating the Ribono Shalom. It's amazing. It's a mila. It's a mila. Bezrat Hashem. Wow. No words. No words. We should all be healthy, happy, and successful.
Yeah.
And we'll continue tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem. Be well.
צ'ק, בעזרת השם ניפגש ביום ראשון בלילה בכותל.
Amen. Amen.